All right, so today we're going to take a look at how to turn a DJI RS4 Pro into a full, completely rigged out cinema system that you can use on any movie set that you're on. Let's go ahead and take a look at how to build this puppy step by step. Oh yeah, and do me a favor, if you like this video, do me a favor and please hit that like and subscribe button. It takes a lot of work to put videos like this together, and your subscribing really makes all the difference in the world in allowing me to keep this channel going. Now, one of the great things about the RS4 Pro is just what a powerful little machine this is. And it is very, very capable of being an actual legitimate full-size cinema stabilization system. But you're gonna have to modify it to get it. And what I wanna do today is I wanted to break down how to take your standard RS4 Pro and kit it out so you can actually do real professional level cinema production. Now, I'm speaking from experience on this. I did shoot a full-length feature film last year, and I'm gonna show you how I broke this down to do multiple days working with large crews, producers, actors, everything on set, and having this thing go flawlessly for the entire production. Now, obviously, as you can see, there's gonna be a couple steps on there. So do me a favor, if you look down here on the timeline, you're gonna see this is broken up into chapters. If you wanna jump ahead for any reason, just click on the chapter and go to the part. But let's go ahead, kind of start breaking this down piece by piece, and I'm gonna show you how to build your RS4 into a cinema machine. Boom! All right, so now as you can see, I've completely deconstructed this thing. Let's go ahead and put it together. Now, the very first thing you need to do is you need to go ahead and think about rebuilding this from the plate up. And when I say that, I mean this. The plate that comes with the RS4 Pro, it has that Arca Swiss connector to it. That is just too tiny, leads to too many micro jitters if you have any camera of any size or weight. That can be as small as a Red Komodo, C300, you name it. You need more surface area to get smoother footage. And by far the best solution I have found for this is going to be the small rig quick release plate for Manfrotto. I think it's -3158. Now what's great, this is just a solid plate. You can get it for less than 25 bucks. It fits perfectly here in the DJI RS4, and it just gives you a ton of surface area. Now what I've done is I've actually combined that with a Manfrotto 357 quick release right here. And I've done that for a very important reason. One, when I slip this on here, and I get it all balanced out, I don't want to have to rebalance my camera if I take this off for any reason. What I love about the quick release plate is I can sit there, I can slip my camera in it like this, and then I can just click it all the way to the back and lock it in, and as my camera's balanced from the beginning, it's going to be balanced all the way through. Okay, so once you get the plate on there, you need to talk about what you're gonna mount your RS4 to. And let's be honest, you're never gonna be able to get away and have any kind of professional mounting system with the current one-handed grip. You have too much stuff you need to hang up in a professional setting for monitors, follow focuses, you name it, you gotta have it hung on there. And this is where a ring system becomes very, very critical to have all that stuff and keep you comfortable while you're shooting. And the Tilta basic ring grip I found is really just lets me unlock a huge amount of what this can do. You get this thing and you can hang anything you need to on this system and it won't get in the way of the camera or the gimbal. And this allows you, this is the tool that really allows you to go all day long when you are shooting. Now, one thing I really like about the Tilta system is one, it is well constructed and it just feels like it was designed in conjunction with DJI. Everything works seamlessly. I've been using this actually for several years now, hundreds of hours of shooting, and I've never had an issue with this thing being able to communicate and work flawlessly with the RS2 or the RS4, to be honest with you. And that really is because this system is modular. It means you can kind of grow it or shrink it as it is. So what I want to talk about, it's not just the ring, it's some of the cool Tilta accessories that come with this that really make this a lot better. Now, the first thing you need to talk about is going to be this right here. This is the Tilta Remote Control Advanced Grip for the camera. And what this allows me to do, I can have a grip here, but I have all of my controls that I would normally have on the back of my gimbal, they're here. I can recenter the gimbal, I can control the drums joystick, and if you look here, I can even do follow focus right here, all on this handle. And this allows me to still operate as I normally would, but not have to be touching the back of the camera. A really, really fantastic accessory that really makes this thing a practical thing to use pretty much in any setting. But it's not just this ring grip that I think really unlocks why this is so powerful and separates it from a lot of other rings, in my opinion. The thing that separates it is the fact that this thing actually has an electrical system built into the ring itself. And what happens is you can get, if you look here, there's little electrical points here, and you can start to attach electrical extension points to it. I mean, if you look at the top right here, you have a Tilta power supply module for the grip that has D-taps right up here, and this allows you to start using D-taps to start powering some stuff, which you can expand. We'll talk about that in a second. And if you look down here, you actually can get a Tilta battery plate for the ring grip. You can either get a V-mount or a gold mount, depending on whatever your battery system is. And what I love about this, I can take just a standard gold mount battery here. I can click that in, and now this thing is powering everything that I attach to. So I can power my camera from this, I can power my monitors, my follow focus, my wireless monitors, you name it, I can power it off this one battery. That means when it's time to switch batteries, I change one battery, and I'm not adding weight by putting all these little Sony batteries all over my camera. This is an absolutely critical thing to have. Now, in order to truly maximize this potential, you kind of want to have a D-tap expander. And I was able to find a ZT 4 D-tap expander. And what that allows me to do, up here on the top of my ring, I can power my monitor, my wireless monitor, my follow focus, all from one expander up here. This is really, really helpful. It just kind of lives here on my gimbal and really gives me those power options. And this is something you just need to consider if you're going to set up a cinema rig. You need to make sure that not only do you have room for your accessories, but you can power them all and just have one battery powering everything. Just make your life easier and not be stressing about which batteries is running out and which system you're about to lose. Now, once you get your basic structure here of your gimbal setup, you need to decide what you're going to put on there. And in my opinion, the camera that I really think works, it just seems like it's tailor-made for the RS3 Pro, is going to be the Red Komodo or the Red Komodo X. They're both the same size. And there's a couple of reasons why I really love shooting a Red Komodo in conjunction with an RS3 Pro. The first thing is the size is nice and small. It fits perfectly on here. It's very, very easy to get on there and balance on there. I love the sensor. The red raw is fantastic. Then you couple that with the internal gyroscope and the global shutter that comes with this. This camera just wants to be on a gimbal. It just has all those little features that come in and make it seem to be the perfect companion piece here for this RS3 Pro. Now, once I get my camera on there, the next thing you need to do is you need to have a good follow focus solution put into place. There is some rudimentary follow focus on the Red and the Red Komodo X, but it's just one of those things. Most cinema glass is still going to be manual focus, and let's be honest, even the best autofocus in the world doesn't quite get you that exact precision you want sometimes when you're doing cinema stuff. You need to attach a follow focus to it. Now, in order to attach my follow focus, and I want to avoid putting rails on here just because once I start putting rails in this system, the cinema lenses, it just start maxing out the RS3. I want this thing as light as possible. I've actually found that this little 90-degree 15mm rod converter works really, really well in getting your follow focus on there. And if there's one thing I've discovered about follow focuses, especially on gimbal, is I like to hang my gimbals down. I want gravity working for me, not against me. I find a lot of times if I put my gimbal underneath, it tends to kind of slip throughout the day. It just drives me crazy. So I tend to always put my follow focuses coming down and working for me in gravity. So you can get these little 15mm mini rods like this right here, and I'm just gonna attach that here to the top. And now that I have that attached to the top, I can take the 90-degree converter and slip that on and be good to go. Slip that on right here. I'll just tighten that up. And then I just take a 6-inch 15mm rod and I can just slip that right in here. And now that I have that, I can tighten it, and now I've got a pretty good rod system that's going top down here for my system. So now once I get that on there, all I have to do is take my follow focus system. And what I find works for me is a good old trusty Tilta Nucleus M. The Nucleus Nano does work really well too. I have an M, and it just seems to kind of be the standard system that comes up on a lot of indie productions. And what I love about the Nucleus M is that it feels like any first AC that you have is going to be comfortable using it, and it just works really, really well and consistently. I mean, once you get this thing hooked up, you're pretty much going to be good to go. So I'm just gonna go ahead, hook that on there just so it's hooked on. And now I have the Nucleus M. And what's good about the Nucleus M is, as you can see, I need to power it. But because I have this power system that I put up here, now I can take my cable, I can hook this right up to it, and I can just plug into the D-tap that is here now on top of my ring. Gives everything nice and easy, very, very simple. I'm just gonna plug this in up here, and then I am good to go. And this is where the Nucleus M really plays in nice too with this Tilta. Now the cool thing about the Tilta, if you look here on the hand grip, it's got a way to control both a DJI follow focus and a Tilta focus. So if I cut this on, I can click this, I can rig it up, and I can control the follow focus here from my grip once again, and it all works with this really, really nice closed ecosystem. So having this Nucleus M really is nice, and the best part that I like about it, which I prefer, is this thing works great with a hand wheel, so I can just hand the hand wheel off to a first AC and have a first AC pulling focus while I'm worried about operating this gear. Now, once I get the follow focus, let's go ahead and let's see what we're looking at, right? So let's talk about getting a monitor. Now, I really like to use for the Red Komodo this little Portkeys BM53. It's very simple, and I love how beautiful it gets the image, and you have some red control from it. So to attach it, I'm just going to use a small rig articulating monitor mount with a 3/8 RE type accessory screw. I really like this because there are RE locks here on top of this battery mount, and what it means is that I can go there and have a very secure monitor mount while I'm doing gimbal work. I don't want to have something like a magic arm that starts fumbling over. If I put a monitor on here, I want it to be stuck on there. I don't want it to move. Then once I get that on there, I can just take this, I can slip my monitor on there. And what I like about this is, as you can see, I can tilt it backward and forward. It's on there super right. And if I need to turn it, I can even turn it. So it gives me all that freedom, but it's on there rock solid because it's got those RE locating pins and just gets it on there really well. Now, I have this on there, but before I start hooking up SDIs, we want to remember our proper power systems for a system. Now remember, anytime you're hooking up an SDI system, especially with a Red Komodo, the SDI cable should be the very last thing you put on. So I want to power my system first. And like I said, I've got this whole system powered here by this V-mount battery, and I'm going to actually power my camera here from my V-mount just so I can have it. Now what I have here is actually an Athens cable, 90-degree right angle power cable for the Red Komodo. And what I like about this, I can just sit here on the back, I can plug that in, and I can put it here on the back of my Red Komodo. If you are thinking about powering any camera, it can be a C300, it doesn't matter. You need to make sure you get a right angled power cable, because if you don't, the power cable will stick too far out and it's going to interfere here with the back. A right angle will let you have a nice, clean, easy connection point and not get in the way of the gimbal. That is going to be absolutely critical if you want to power your camera from the V-mount that is attached to your gimbal. Now, once I do that and have the whole thing powered on, now what I can do, I can power on my monitor, I can power on my thing, now I can attach my SDI cable. Now one thing that I really like to have when I'm using gimbal is a nice long cable with lots of slack. Now, this is the ZILR 3-foot SDI cable. It's a 12G cable, it's absolutely rock solid, keeps your camera nice and safe, and if I sit there and put this in, what I like about it is there's plenty of room to come up to where I need to be. What I tend to do is I will probably take it, I might loop it around once or so here just to keep everything nice and safe. I will hook it here up to my monitor, and then I have signal and I'm good to go. This gives me lots of slack for movement, and I know that I'm not safe. Do yourself a favor, if you're doing gimbal work on something like this and you're connecting a monitor, get a nice cable. The other thing I really like about the ZILR cable is that it's very thin, very light. It doesn't cause tension on your system. It's by far my favorite gimbal cable that I found for these kind of things. Now, once you get the monitor there, you need to go and get one more very important accessory for this. And that is you need to go ahead and pick up a couple of 30mm rod clamps for this ring. Now, as you can see, these 30mm rod clamps are pretty simple. I mean, they're just a little 30mm thing, and you can hook it on there. Canvate makes a couple. I got these from an old RS1 that I had. But what's great about these, as you can see, I've got a couple of them hanging on here. And I love these things because they have a 1/4 inch and a 3/8 screw top at the top, and they just can hook and put anywhere you need to put an accessory on your ring. So this just allows you a lot of flexibility. If I need to maybe put something over here, I can put it over there, I can put it over there, you name it. And once they go on there, they're not coming off. So whatever accessory you put on there, you know is going to be rock solid. Now, once I get all this on there, I do want to take this image that I've been projecting and I want to show it to other people because we're on a movie set, right? And that's where we got to talk about the wireless monitor. Now, I've been using the Teradek Bolt 6. It's a really solid system. but there's lots of other good systems out there like Hollyland, stuff like this. I love that this has an SDI in and out to pass through, makes it really, really convenient for me. But I want to attach it to this too. And here is where taking these 30mm rod clamps comes in really, really handy. Now I've added one accessory to this that I found was very, very handy, and that was the wooden V-lock mount system. And what's great, you can get these from Wooden Camera, and you can just attach these on anything. And you can see it's got an a lock point and a plate. And what I love about this, I can just slip this on there, click it in, and that stuff is on there rock solid. It is not coming off, and it doesn't move. It just stays in one space. So what I can do is I can sit there, and I can take this little rod mount here. I'm just going to put it over here just for the heck of it, just to kind of show you. I can lock that on there. And now what I can do is I can take my wireless monitor, slip it here, it's out of the way, on there rock solid. And now all I have to do is I can just take my cable, hook it up over here, and we are going to be ready to roll. Now I can power my monitor from this D-tap extender up here, and I am good to go. And then really the last thing I would add on here is going to be a map box. Now this is the Polar Pro Max Box system, and I like this because once again, when I'm doing run and gun stuff, it doesn't use rods. I can attach it to this lens, or it has a lot of lenses you can attach. It's a pretty flexible size. I can slip some filters in there, and it gets me some basic filtration options on a very, very light set that I can easily balance here on my gimbal. And that's really how I build up the rig. And for the most part, this thing is pretty much good to go. There's only one other accessory that is going to be very, very important, and that is going to be your support system. Once you get a rig like this, you're probably not going to be hand holding it. It's just a terrible idea. You might as well make yourself comfortable. And that's where I use an Easy Rig to help your life out. Now, I have an Easy Rig Mini Max, but you can get bigger Easy Rigs. An Easy Rig Mini Max is going to be very, very close to maxed out with this configuration. You can use it, but you're right at the threshold. So if you can get an Easy Rig Mini Max, it can work, but if you can get a bigger Easy Rig Stabilite, that would probably help you as well. And you can attach it in a number of ways. One, I found something really simple is I like the quick release plate, so I just take this little lock system right here, I put it on, and then I just attach it here to the handle of my RS3 Pro. And then boom, once I get this on, we are ready to rock and roll. Now the big thing that I like to use is the quick release balls that come with the Easy Rig. And what I like about this, it's just so easy. You can literally come in, boom, pop it in there, and it's super secure. I mean, this thing is rock solid. And then once I get this on there, I am ready to go. And I love the Easy Rig because it allows me to be free. I can literally let this thing go. The Easy Rig takes that weight and moves it down my hips, and you can shoot for a very, very long time with this system. When I'm done, I can set it down, literally hold this up, boom, it's that easy, and I'm rocking and rolling. All right, whew, that was a lot of stuff, but as you can see, it is very, very possible to build an RS3 system up into a full-on cinema rig. And this is one of those things, if you have a project, I hope you find this helpful and it can be something you could really use on this project. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you had to say about this. Leave me any notes and comments down below. And yeah, go out there, keep on shooting, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.